Hi, Goldens. Hi, everyone. This is Kathy Tarkioni. I'm with the Golden Life community, and I am a Golden. I'm here today because I want to talk to you about something really special. We are now going to be having our Golden Connections membership available to all women over 55. Now, this is going to be a request to join. You're under no financial obligation, but we ask you when you come in to the Golden Connections that you'll show up, that you'll be there, that you'll come in and you'll participate. Unlike other communities, the Golden Connections is different than a community that you've gone to before. So I'm going to take the time today to go over some of the components of it and some of the ideas that have come together. And I want you to know that the Golden Life community was designed based on my own personal experiences. So why don't we just kind of begin with that now? How did it start? Well, I'm 78 years old. You can see that I have a cannula on. I have a COPD, severe stage COPD, and congestive heart failure. And for a number of years, I have had some major setbacks over, actually the last 10 years or so. But in the last 4 or 5 years, it's been really difficult for me. So what I've done over the years is I've looked at myself and what are my issues? What are my how do I relate and how do I get along in the world? Am I fearful? Do I get depressed? Do I get anxious? Do I have problems with loneliness? All of these things have occurred. So what I realized after all of my setbacks, that in order for me to move forward, I needed to have a idea of how I can move forward with other women because they are the strength. Now, I've gone to many doctors. I've gone through many, different types of specialists, and there's nothing that can be done for me right now. I'm on my way out, so to speak. So what I've done is I've looked at what are the issues that really bother women, and the real truth is it's fear, it's not having mental strength. So we developed this based on mental strength. What can we do to help women move forward with the depression, with the anxiety, with everything they have? Because all of these things in the world right now that are coming together, we're having such difficult times in trying to organize what we're doing and understanding and making sense of what's happening with the economy, with all of this, and we're forgetting about ourselves. So I decided that what would be helpful for me would be to tell my story. And when I started telling my story, I was in the hospital 2 years ago and I told my story, and I was given a life sentence, so to speak, put my affairs in order. And I did a video from Facebook, or a video on Facebook, and it was only to about 300 women. And in that video, I said, listen, it's about time that we become self-advocates, that women unite together for the purpose of being able to build each other up and build our strengths up. Not the typical type of get-togethers where you chit-chat and you do activities, but let's actually do something. Let's really get going and doing something. So when I did this video, it was funny. I had pneumonia and it was like 104 temperature. And I'm telling everyone, well, I don't know if I'm going to croak today, but I didn't, of course. And so I ended up afterwards, within 48 hours, there was over 100,000 views just on Facebook and over 2,000 comments from women that were coming forward and saying, we really need what you're talking about. And what I was talking about to them at that time is we let everybody else do our thinking for us when we get older. We depend on the doctor to tell us, we depend on the lawyer to tell us, and we never question any of it. What we do is we sit back and we say, okay, whatever they say is all right. But we haven't taken care of who we are. And we're so used to, the one thing about us, Goldens, is what we end up doing is we end up doing so much for everyone else. Who's there for us? Who's there when we need it? Who's there when we want to have somebody help us? So the way this all started was, again, based on my own personal experience. I was in one hell of a freaking mess. And I didn't know how to get out of it. And I really wasn't able to get out of it. But because I'm very spiritual and I was manifested a lot, and I had some wonderful, wonderful women that were around me that helped me through the rain, I realized that the Golden Life community is what women need to have. So we started with the idea of having a virtual community that women could come to, again, not for the purpose of being able to watch videos, go to webinars, take tests, all of this, but a virtual community where you roll up your sleeves, you come into the community, and you expect nothing. What you expect is to come in and create, collaborate, communicate. And while you're in there, you're going to be able to also talk about the things that bother you the most, the things that you don't talk about to anybody else. And the reason you don't talk to them, anybody else, is because you're fearful of judgment, or you're fearful of things that they might say or how they might feel about you. So we started realizing that women need a safe place, but where do you go for that? Facebook doesn't really have a safe group platform. You can get censored just for saying F you. You can get censored for putting up the wrong video. You could get censored for so many different things. And this is on all platforms. So we chose a platform that was very safe and very secure. And nobody's going to share any of your data. You're not going to see an ad. You're not going to see the things that trying to get you to buy something. You're going to be there in a safe place where you can talk to other women that share your same vision, and we're all in it together. Everyone says, well, why did you choose 55 and older? Reason we did is because after 55, you're done with your crazies. You've gone through menopause. You're no longer the matriarch of the family. You've got time. You're going to be going into retirement shortly. But most importantly, now you're looking at taking care of your mother. And what are you going to do with mom? And where's mom going to go? And all these things come into it. Well, someday you're going to be mom. So we looked at, why not take what you've already learned in being the matriarch and let you be the matriarch of other women? So wouldn't that be wonderful if we had women around the world that now became matriarchs of other women? So I'll begin now by showing you. Oh, I see where some people are here. Let me see what the comments are. Who's here? Oh, hi, Angelica. Angelica is here. Yeah, and Jolly Beth is here. It's great. Okay, so what we talked about, what are the golden connections? That's what it is. It's a golden connection. It is a community, but it's a connection at the heart level. We want you to be able to come in, and no matter what type of position you're in, you could be a woman that is really, really very busy. You've got a lot of things going on. You're doing a wonderful job at what you're doing. You're high powered. You're very influential. You can do a lot, and you already do a lot to help other women. We want you to come in. Why? Because we know that you'll find the time. Ask a busy woman and she'll find the time, especially when it comes to helping others. And then there's the women that really need help on a different level. They're very depressed. They're home alone. They're lonely. They don't know what to do. They want to have something to do. Their kids are gone. Their kids can't find time for them. And they've got a lot of negative energy in their life. So wouldn't it be great if we could say to them, well, let's give you something to do. Dust yourself off, put on some makeup, make yourself presentable, come forward, and now you're going to be able to communicate with women that are on the same level, because now you're going to be able to have something to do. You may have thought about, oh, I love creating something. And I used to do this years ago. Whatever you did in your life where you had a talent, whatever that was, why not resurrect that and do that again? If you have anything that you can contribute to other women, this is what we want you to come for. So when we ask you to come and request to join with us, we're not saying this is a free membership. We're saying we want you to request to join because you want to participate and you want to feel that you belong. Because this community, this platform is being built by you, for you. This is yours to do with what you want. So whatever is going to be developed in terms of content, etc., is being developed by you. So let's take a look at some of the things that we have. First off, I wanted to mention that I said that the platform was developed originally, and the entire community, based on helping women with depression and anxiety and loneliness and isolation. Why? There are so many women that are misdiagnosed these days. They're being told, well, as an example, when my husband died, I was depressed, of course, but not only because he passed away, but because I was stuck with having to do a lot of things that I wasn't used to doing that he did. So there was a lot of anxiety that went in, and then there was the financial pressure, and then there was having the death certificate and all these different things that came into it. And I got depressed. So I went to a therapist, and the first thing was, well, you got depression, so let's put Kathy on Prozac. And at the time, I'm thinking, oh my God, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Am I falling apart because he passed away, etc.? And it's not that it's a stigma, but it was a misdiagnosis. Of course, I was depressed, but I wasn't depressed to the point where you would call it major depression, where I couldn't get out of it. I was depressed for a short period of time. I was grieving. And and then, of course, I felt lonely because I had lost him. And when you lose a spouse, especially if you're a woman, you find that your married friends no longer want to be around you, especially if you're attractive. So that's an issue too. So what I did was I realized, oh my gosh, in the insurance industry right now, many women are trying to go and see a psychiatrist or a psychologist or something because they feel these things, especially with the fact of possibly retiring. So they end up having this feeling inside of them that something's really wrong with me. When actually, if you really think about it, what we're doing in the Golden Connections is we decided to start creating mental strength. Why not? You go to a psychiatrist and what do? You sit there and you talk and you tell them your story. And your story is where they go into their information bank and they say, okay, based on what I learned, here's what I'm going to diagnose, and then I'm going to prescribe a pill. Well, we as women, aren't we best suited to be able to say to other women, why not tell us your story? Because we've been in the same boat that you've been in. And many of us have been resonating with women at the same level too. So if we hear your story and you want feedback from us, we can give you the feedback. But the most important thing is for you to begin to start telling your story. You don't want to tell your story because you're fearful that people are going to judge you. And that's not going to happen, not in the Golden Connections. We're there to be able to support you and give you what you need. And what does support mean? That's a question I asked somebody the other day, and they didn't know how to answer it. And to me, you know what support is? Is you show up. You show up. You're there. When somebody needs help, and if your friend needs help, by God, you should be there and you should show up. You don't have to say a word. You don't have to do anything, but you just show up. So that's what we do, is we show up. And that's what we want everyone to do. Don't come into this community. Don't come into the Golden Connections if you have no intention of participating. It's about participation. So with that, we started realizing that we would put together what's known as a Golden Genius Assessment. This is a marvelous assessment. I'm going to show you what this looks like. It's based on your strength, your personality, and your synchronicity. Now, what this does is it allows us to be able to look at what your strengths are, what type of personality you have, and synchronicities that would relate to how your everyday life works. So what we did is we've contracted with a doctor named Tom Myers, and we've created a customized Golden Genius Assessment. And it's for the purpose of being able to, after you take the assessment, Dr. Myers will assess for you and have a meeting with you, and you'll go through it. Now, this is a paid program, so I don't want you to think that it's included in the membership. But the members that do take it, then let me back up a minute. We took it as the team, 6 of us on the team, no, 7 of us on the team. We took the assessment. And once Dr. Myers did a one-on-one with each of us, then we had a group session, and we were able to determine whose strengths complementary to others in the group and who had weaknesses that some other strengths could support. So Angelica, who's watching the show right now, she's part of the team, and she has a strength in the emotional area. I'm an emotional mess. I'm an empath. So what happens with me is I let people know that I'm an empath, and right away I'll pick up their energy and try to help them. So I become very emotional, and she was able to just ground me immediately. And that helped me physically. Now, how did that help me physically? Because I was able to find out through the Golden Connections, this has just happened recently, that every time I had a thought that was a negative thought, and then there was emotion that related to that, I made myself physically sick. I could feel my stomach going in knots. I could feel my heart palpitating. I would start to get a headache. I would start to get mucus building up, literally mucus building up in my throat, and I would get congested, and I could make myself sick with 104 temperature. And it was amazing what my thoughts and emotions, how I was able to do that to myself. So the truth is that if we can build mental strength, and knock on wood right now, I have gone now for almost 2 months, because of the Golden Connections, 2 months without being sick, because I've learned that as soon as my stomach starts to go into knots, I sit there and I say, oh my gosh, this is not me. This is not me. I don't want this. And I can get myself out of it. So having other people around that know me and know my strength and know my personality and know my synchronicities are there to help me. So how did they help me? How did they help me through it? Well, what we did is, from the Golden Assessment, we went and we started what we call the Golden Voices Meetups. And many of you, if you're on LinkedIn and Facebook right now watching, you would know that the Golden Voices Meetups have been almost like a miracle for some women. I don't know. I can't explain the energy behind it. I really can't. All I can say is that the energy is so powerful, that the women that have come into it are looking at the Golden Voices as a place for them to unload, a place for them to come and say, "Oh my gosh, wow, I really need help." So once we started those, and they've only been going now for about 6 weeks, and it's every other week or twice a month that we have the Golden Voices, we realize that women want to be able to come in and they want to have a private area. So we recorded the sessions only for the women that had belonged to the session, and then if they are a member, they can come in. Now we've made this a private space, and so it is a paid space. It's not included in the membership that you're going to join today. But if you do want it, certainly you are welcome to come. It's a $10 a month additional to come into the Golden Voices. Now, what do you get in the Golden Voices? Not only do you get to meet with the women that were in the meetups, you get to have access to the replays, but you also get access to what we call the mud room. And the mud room, let me explain this. This is what probably one of the most favorite parts of the Golden Connections that I absolutely love. The mud room is, have you ever heard of Simon Sinek? He's the why guy. You see him on TED Talks and stuff. He says that if you see a friend, if you have a friend who is sitting in the mud because they're depressed or they have an issue or there's a real problem, you have two choices. You can either walk away or you can go and you can sit in the mud with your friend for as long as it takes in silence. No matter how uncomfortable it is, you're going to go and you're going to sit in the mud with them. And doing that will make you feel better for helping your friend. Your friend is in there not because sitting in the mud. They love the fact that you're there to support them because you showed up, but you don't have to do anything. You don't have to fix anything. They're not asking you for advice. What they're saying to you is, I need somebody to listen to me. And that's what we do. We have these women, they come and they listen. And you feel better. I don't know if you have ever had a time where you're able to finally tell your story and you're ranting and you're raving and you're crying and you're whatever. And as soon as you get done, you think, whew, wow, I feel better. I feel better now. So that's what we want for you, is we want you to feel better. Why? Because then you don't get sick. And then you don't go into making yourself sick. And that builds mental strength. So it starts with your thoughts and then your emotions. And then where does that go? So if you can stop that, and that's what we're trying to do, is help you to stop that cycle. So you go into the mudroom. And if you think about, here's what the mudroom looks like. These are women. You're sitting there with other women. You're sitting in the mud together. You're not saying a word. You're not doing anything. You're just sitting there. And then you feel good about it. And actually, mud is healing because that's from the earth, and that's a wonderful thing. I see some people are here. Let's see. Yeah. What is the mood room? Yeah, that's what Roman says. Yeah, the mood room. So, where am I at here? So what we have is an area that is so comfortable for women to come into that we think that if you can come in and now you're lifted with all of your crap. Oh, I hope I don't get censored for that. emotional baggage, and you've got other women who are willing to share along with you, because there's nothing better than to be able to listen to somebody else's issues. You hear somebody else's problems and you think, I don't have it so bad. Mine isn't so bad as theirs. And you start comparing with each other. Well, we don't want you to compare. We want you to listen and show up and be there for other women. And when you start doing that, all of a sudden you start developing energy. I'm talking from personal experience. This is me. 2 years ago, I was on my deathbed. I am so energized and so pumped right now and happy, 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 happy. I am able to really do things that I haven't been able to do in 2 years. But I'm limited, and I understand that. But with these women, they have become my family. This is a sisterhood that is like no other, and we share with each other and we come together. So, and I know you've heard all of this kind of stuff before, but for me, the idea that I'm able to say what is bothering me, talk about my loneliness, talk about the things that have bothered me, and know that I'm not going to be judged. It has created this energy in me where all of a sudden I want to do something, and now I want to help other women. So that's where the actual mission and the goal of the Golden Connections is to help women so that they can help other women. And how is that going to be done? We're doing that through giving you the skills of communication back. You've lost those skills. You know, you had the kids, you had the family, you had all this, you had your business. But now, how do you communicate with other women about your personal problems? You forgot how to do that because you haven't been accustomed to doing it. So now we want to help you to get back those skills so you can start communicating again at the heart level with women who care, women who really, really, really care. And then from there, you can start collaborating based on your strengths, based on the type of personality you have and the synchronicities you have in common and the things that you are manifesting left and right. Then from there, you can start working with other women and you start to co-create, and you can have a revenue stream coming in for yourself if that's your desire. So let's say, for instance, you decide you want to write a book. I'm a widow. I find somebody that is a widow that's in the Golden Connections, and we have the same strengths, and we've got the same type of synchronicities. So it would be great if we could co-collaborate and write a book about widowhood. And now from there, once the book is published, then you share in the revenue. So the platform is all about also revenue producing for yourself. Of course, it's also helping to sustain the Golden Connections too. So you're not only contributing to helping us grow, but you're helping to contribute yourself to grow too. So then from there, let me see what else here. Somebody put something in here. Oh, hi. Oh, my pseudo daughter is here. Hi, Deb. um, so from there, then we went to, like I said, the communicate and the co-collaborate and the co-create. From there, we thought, well, wait a minute. We have a bunch of women that are coming together, and they are saying, well, I already have my own community. I already have, or I want to build my own community. And they might not, and we started realizing, oh my gosh, do you have any idea what it takes to set up a community? It's a huge undertaking, and it's a big learning curve. And the question is, when they say build it and they will come, not going to happen. That's not what happens. You have to find what it is that motivates them, that wants somebody to be involved. And once they are there, do they want to contribute? Do they want to be part of it? And we realize that many of these women have their own communities. They have their own networks of women. They've got their own groups on Facebook or on LinkedIn or wherever they have them. And they want to keep those communities. But they're thinking about, how do I have a private community? How do I have one that I can work with directly? How do I have one that I can control? So that's why we decided to set up it's called a Circles of Trust. These are our women's groups. These are like mini communities, if you can think about that. A mini community. Let's say you're a woman that has a XYZ group and you want to come in. We will do the management of the community for you. But that community is private. That group is private to you, and it's private to your members. You would pay us. It's called a SASS. It's a service as let me see, software as a service, because we use the software in the community and the management tools to be able to manage your area. And then you'll be able to charge a membership fee, of which you receive 100% of that membership fee. So you can have your mini community at a fraction of the cost of what it would cost you to do your own community. And you also have the beauty of having somebody manage it. So how cool is that? That is a wonderful thing. And we are just launching that in a very, actually, it's available now, but we don't have everything completely in place right now. So we would love, if you want to be introduced, I know Jolly Beth is watching as well. Jolly Beth, if you can put a something to book a call into the chat, that would be great. Okay, and then the next area that we have is whoops. Let's see, the next area is sorry folks. We have in the community is about our dogs. Now, we created, where is that picture? Here. We created the Golden Life community. We created that with Goldie as a mascot, and she's a golden retriever. Now, why did we do that? Because dogs are marvelous at helping people with aging. They are probably the biggest catalyst that could possibly be used, because it's unconditional love. They give unconditional love. They're loyal, they're protective, they are there for you. So we have incorporated a pet connection area inside of the Golden Connections. Now, why is that important? Because if you age with your dog, and you age with your cat too, we have that area as well. You'll have so much better life. So I don't know if any of you are familiar or not, but we have the Dog Connection show, and that's on the Dog Connection TV channel on Facebook and YouTube. And tomorrow, actually, we will be launching our 10th season. We took a 2-year hiatus. We're launching our 10th season with Roman Gottfried. Roman is he's been a co-host, but now he is the main guy for the Dog Connection. And with him at the helm, he will be helping you understand from a behavior standpoint what it is that your dog is thinking and what you need to know about your dog, so that your dog can help you during your golden years, and what you need to do to move forward. And inside of the Golden Connections, under that pet connection space, we also have the Rainbow Room. And that's where you can gather together and you can talk about, and you can even have a celebration if you would like, for a pet that has moved to Rainbow Bridge. And with our canine community reporters, these are our little animated avatars, they can report to you how your pets are doing in Rainbow Bridge. Now, I know that sounds a little hokey, but believe me, it's very effective when you get to hear from your pets. So with that in mind, I'm just going to quickly share with you what the platform looks like when you go into it. Let me share my screen here. Hang on. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Get rid of me. Make this full screen. Whoops, sorry. Okay. As soon as you come in to the platform, you're going to be coming up with a welcome checklist, and it will pop out on the right over here, and there'll be things that will show you what you need to be doing when you first come into the platform. We have full videos and tutorials on all this, so I'm not going to go into this, but the first thing you want to do is watch the welcome video, because it's about me and it's more into the background of what really the Golden Connections is about. Then you want to go into the Soul Cafe and all of these things. on over here are how you get to meet other women in the community. You'll see, whoops, you'll see different women. And what's really cool about this is you can go in, and this happens to be about me, and this is AI generated. AI has now, based on what my profile is and what my strengths are, it has gone in and told me how I connect direct with Lorraine, how she and I share the same focus, how we share the same likes and dislikes. So this is a very, very cool area. In here, we say, okay, now once you've gone through and you've looked at, let's look inside. You go through, you see what's featured, you see what the upcoming events are, who the top members are, what the top spaces are, what's going on, and you get to see who the members are that live near you. Then you can go into what's called the all my events, and these are just your events. You're not going to, unless you subscribe to it, you're not going to see any other events. Then you go into, okay, let's begin. And then we talk about our why. And then also you'll have downloads and fun stuff that you'll be able to get. I won't go into all of these details, but we have a beautiful mind body center which is with excuse me, with Dr. Angelica, and she has events. She's got live events, fitness. She's my age, and she is like a crackerjack. You would think that she was 20 years old. She's got so much energy. It's incredible. So you've got her events, and you can get together with her on any level here. Then we have our Golden Voices, and this is the Golden Voices area, and get to see what's going on in there. And this is a private area. And then you go into the mudroom, and I'll show you what the mudroom looks like. Once you go in there, you're going to click on the mudroom, and you're going to go inside to a special place where you'll be able to meet with other women, and your camera would turn on and you would meet with other women, and we get notified. Everyone that is in the golden spaces, they will get notified that you're in the mudroom. So this is a very special place for everyone. And then, of course, you want a private chat. Then we have different lounges, and we have different areas. Now, some of this stuff is, we talked about co-creating. Right now, we're starting with brainstorming. When we say, let's do it. This is an area we're just starting right now, where we're developing conversations, we're creating events, and we're co-creating. So let's say, for instance, we decided that we wanted to create a book. Then we would create a new space under brainstorming that this is co-create a book. Let's co-create a workshop. Let's co-create a course, etc. Then we have our learning center. And these are areas where you can paid and non-paid certain types of courses. And then we have the Pet Connect, which is the dog connection and the cat connection, and the rainbow room. And then, of course, we've got the circles of trust, and we have our marketplace. And then we have different initiatives that are going on. So that is, here is our website. So you can go to here. You can also request to join as well. We can put that into the community. This gives you an overview of exactly what the Golden Life community is about in its whole, because we do have two components to it. Oh, it looks like, I'm sorry, it's not changing. It's not changing. I have to do this. I have to go and present again. Sorry. I'm on StreamYard. Okay, this is the goal. This is our website, and this will give you an overview of what it's about. And again, it's a dual solutions. What we're talking about today is the golden connections, but we also have the golden spaces. This is a vision right now, and it's in its hypothetical format, but we are in the process of getting funding on this, so this will be a good thing. Then, of course, it gives you an overview of where we're at, and you can really look in more detail as to how we're doing it and what our meetups are. So whatever I'm telling you today is also on our website. So that is where we are at. And if anybody, let me see, I have one person here. Let me see. Okay, Jolly Beth just put in, wonderful mom. Okay, she put in how you can book a session. So if you'd like to know about how to, any questions, or you want to get involved on a different level and you want to have a 15-minute conversation, feel free to come and join us. Okay. So in the meantime, I want to welcome you and come to request to join with us, show up, be part of our network, and let us know. And if you're willing to come and watch us tomorrow on the Dog Connection, you'll have a canine that's going to be there to let you know what it's like to age with a dog. So thank you so much, everyone. I really do appreciate you coming and listening to me. And let's connect at the heart level. I love you, my Goldens. Bye.